Hello, dears. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're gonna start in just a few seconds. Yes, hi. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. Okay, so let's get started. There will be probably a few more people or not joining later on, but it's 5 past the hour. So let's start. Yeah, welcome back. So good to see you all, really, and restart this beautiful container. And welcome to Integral Mystery School Level 2. So exciting to do a deeper dive with all of you guys. And let's do a little short coherence meditation to just arrive and to leave behind what we were doing just before and to focus on what's in front of us. And then we'll get into it. So, same format. We'll go for around 90 minutes and then maybe some shares of Q&A. So all in all, no more than 2 hours, and I'll aim to finish in 90 minutes what I want to cover. And so I invite you to gently close down your eyes, sit comfortably in your seat where you're sitting or standing or lying or moving or playing basketball or whatever you're doing. Find some stillness and close down your eyes gently and just bring your attention into your inner space, into this microcosm within the bigger macrocosm, and just take some of those deep, beautiful, fun, elongated, smooth breaths in through your nose. Deep breath and out through your mouth. Relaxing into that stillness, into your seat, into the gravity. Get magnetized by the center of the earth. And now another deep breath in. Deep, please make it deep. Feeling yourself up and breathing out. And just another deep breath in, the deepest of today, please. And come back to your natural breathing through in and out through the nose. And stay with your breath like we did in that gamified experience of conscious breathing. So just be with your breath from beginning to end. And then again, from beginning to end. Relax your body, let it breathe the way it wants to breathe naturally. Just relax any kind of control over your breath. Just let your body breathe the way it wants to breathe. It knows exactly how it wants to breathe in each moment in time. Relax your facial muscles. Maybe even a gentle smile emerges on your face. Watch your shoulders get lighter and also relax. Finding that balance between a firm posture and a relaxed body. And just a couple more breaths. Now feel your physical body in its entirety. Your feet, your calves, your knees, your hips, your pelvis, your belly, your lower back, middle back, chest, upper back, shoulders, arms, forearms, hands, fingers, tips of the fingers, the energetic continuation of the tip of your fingers, your neck, your chin, your cheeks, your lips, your jaw, your nose, your ears, the backside of your head, your eyes, the space between your eyes, your eyelids, your forehead, the back of your head around your forehead, and the top of your head. And now feel your body all at once. Keep breathing. And gently come back into the space. Open up your eyes when you're ready. Thank you very much for this beautiful group coherence. Hope you had a fun little time doing this. And I'd love to hear from you. How are you all doing? Can you please share, if you want to make it 3 seconds, make it 3 seconds. If you want to make it, I guess up to maybe like 30, 40 seconds. I'd love to hear how you're feeling right now. What's how you've been doing since the last container, whatever, just free flow, what comes to your mind. I'd love to hear from everybody before we move into this container. So just unmute yourself in whichever order and share.
Greetings, family. I'm good. I'm well. Glad to be here. And I look forward to us continue making progress. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be with you. In my hermit mode, but so open and so excited to explore this whole new level with y'all. So thank you, family. Good to be here.
Thank you,
Hi, everyone. I'm also feeling great. Came with clear intention, searching for new master keys. Looking forward.
Gracias. Thank you. Look at that.
Hi everyone, I am doing great. I feel like after our last container, I've been like just allowing myself to transform and seeing what that new version of me wants to become and trusting the process and being so much more aware of my mind. And when I'm like going back into a old loop and bringing myself back, I feel like there's so many realizations that have happened since that container. So I'm excited for this one. Peace.
Amazing. Thank you.
Hey everyone. Hey Alex. I'm doing great. A bit cold right now. Uh, awesome. Lovely, lovely garment you're wearing. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm feeling excited, um, fearful with what's coming up and what we left behind. But lately I've been noticing myself, I've been allowing myself, giving myself permission to feel, to be, to connect with my emotions, which I have not done for the past 45 years as a man. But yeah, I am I am allowing this and I am giving myself this permission to be authentic and unique and not to fit in any container or any bottle that society wants me to put myself in. So finding that bottle, find that container, and excited to be here.
So this was a gift from Gabby. That's why I'm showing. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, we have the muting. Okay, we muted. So I'm feeling great. I'm loving the use of the word allowing because since the last container, I'm certainly allowing myself to feel and be just as a couple of you have said. I'm very grateful to be here and experience the next level. All right.
Hello, everyone. I am just a door outside from Alex, here with our sister in Colombia. Um, very excited to be here, very excited to get to experience Alex's wisdom. I get to see him prepare and do this with so much love for this group. He invests time and energy and love and wisdom, and he really puts together these things with so much purpose and intention that for me it's a gift to receive it too. So I'm excited about this next level and very open to receiving what I am here to receive. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I speak to your ear. So I'm so blessed to be here. I got the opportunity to participate in some of the classes in the first part, and I feel so expanded and so inspired for what my brother is sharing. So I asked him to be here today to be part also, and I'm so honored that he's giving this class from Colombia in my house. Like I feel like this wisdom is gonna be here. So yeah, I'm happy to get to know you all. Thank you, hermano.
Thank you, muchas gracias.
Aloha, fam. Um, I'm feeling good. I'm really excited for what you're about to share with us, Sasha. Um, I've been reviewing level one the past few days, so I'm feeling prepared. I'm glad that I got a chance to go back over and make sure that I reviewed everything that I made a note to go back over. Um, I'm feeling pretty energized from that short meditation you just walked us through. So I'm appreciative and looking forward to what you're about to share with us.
Amazing. Thank you for being here, Jess. Such a good call to rewatch those every time. I also rewatched them, and not in the last days, but before, and it's fun stuff, and more layers open up for me as well. I feel we can't hear you for some reason. You're not muted, but
You can hear me now?
yes, now we can.
As I'm glad to be back. I really appreciate the work you put into these classes. The last one was so deep, but I know this one's going to be deeper because it's always the next evolution every time to level up. So I'm ready to see what you have today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here. It's good to have you and your energy here. Okay. If anyone else wants to say anything, this is the time. If not, in a few seconds, we'll open up.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to start this new chapter. My mind, my heart, my spirit is so open to receive right now. So I'm really, really excited to be here. So thank you so much. And thank you, Alex, for doing this. It's just, I'm excited to see how the next weeks are unfolding for us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Yes. You being open helps us all to be open to receive, for sure. We're all co-creating as well. Amazing. So I guess we're going to get started. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Yeah, indeed, it's a deeper dive. We're leveling up for sure. Exciting stuff. So we looked at human development, right? The map of human potential. Then how do we grow into the potential? Then how do we embody that uniqueness and authenticity more and more and more towards our mastery? Then we looked at how do we create stuff out of that authenticity using some of the codes of conscious entrepreneurship. And then we went into potentializing and amplifying all we do in our workplace and our workflows with AI. And today we're going to be going into first principles of the universe, universal for first principles, something that applies to everything in the universe. And This time I'm allowing things to emerge even more. So I have some idea of what we're going to be covering, but I think I will also be probably adjusting that and just through the guidance that comes as we go. And the intention is perhaps to talk about inspirited leadership, the whole new earth emergence of leadership, of new layers of consciousness, and what that means for what we do as humans on this planet, which is a big one and a very fun one. So yeah, don't miss this one. It's gonna be cool. And if you do watch the recording, then we'll maybe go into sacred geometry and sacred anatomy. So how we are built on all kinds of other layers and dimensionalities that we inhabit and have. Then we'll go into how to build transformational containers with or without sacred medicines, how to treat any celebration, how to treat a birthday as a transformational container, how to treat a morning practice as a transformational container. So some codes there. Then we'll go into a new physics. So all of these opening that is happening on the planet is essentially creating a completely new understanding of science, completely new understanding of reality. And so we'll be going into that, and that's I mean, all of these are just next level, aren't they? And then we'll graduate. Okay. Oh yeah, I could click through this as well. So today, universal first principles, and I want to open with a quote from a particular very interesting book that is the major inspiration for this class, for this training. This is the book, The Kybalion. And so the Kybalion says, the lips of wisdom are open, but to the ears of understanding. So congratulations for being here. There is a cause and effect to you being here. So welcome. And indeed, it's a deeper dive. We're doing a deeper dive. The previous one was, how do you say laika, svetskaya in English? Can someone help me out?
Okay, no, I had it, but it left. When something is not religious, agnostic, no, when something isn't religious or doesn't
Or any
follow any
kind of
belief system,
yeah.
I can't remember.
What's the other word? Is it in Spanish? Because I don't know.
Laika or svetskaya in Russian. Anyways, that's just it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So we're doing a deeper dive, and we're still staying practical. Okay. So the idea is not to just detach from our earthly existence, our life, our to-dos, our projects, our livelihood, our enjoyment. The idea is to stay practical and go even deeper. Can we do that? Now, these are the Egyptian pyramids. Why are they here? Because and we're already in the material. So if we track down all kinds of religions, all kinds of spiritual approaches, esoteric schools, and even something like Star Wars ethos with the Force, may the Force be with you, then it all takes us down into Egypt. And not even just Egypt, but old Egypt, the earlier Egyptian civilization. And however, this training is not only inspired or like I'm not telling you the content of the book, The Kybalion, even though it is a major inspiration. There's a lot of influences that all come together. But indeed, it's important to say that pretty much, the Greeks, the Romans, it is said that Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, they learned from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians learned from a particular mystery schools, and there was a particular person slash deity, because Egyptians considered him a deity, and so do the Greeks, the Hermes Trismegistus, and Trismegistus means triple great. So when somebody is great, then you take the greats, and then you look for the great of the greats. And then you do it 3 times, the great of the greats of the greats, and you get Hermes Trismegistus. So, and it is considered to be the beginning, really, of all the spiritual knowledge, all the spiritual movements, and all of the religions. So we're going so deep that we're going into the very basic principles and teachings that created pretty much all world's religions across centuries and time. So this is going to be interesting. And having said that, all that I'm sharing is not a doctrine, is not a dogma. So you don't have to believe. In fact, I suggest that you don't believe anything or anyone blindly. So stay empowered, stay centered, listen with your heart. So stay open, take it in, don't overthink it. In fact, if you don't even use your mind at all, that's totally fine. You don't have to use your mind at all. You can just listen with your heart and let the information permeate your system. And if the mind understands, great. And that's my job, to also, take the mind on the journey so that the mind also gets it and understands it. But if it doesn't, no, not a biggie. It's not a big deal. In fact, maybe sometimes it's even better, so that the mind doesn't come up with ideas that distract us. Okay, so listen with your heart, with your whole being. Take it in with your body, with your heart, with your mind, with everything, with all your parts. Okay, and the way we're going to go through these principles and through this information and through an activation at the end is, first, I'm going to be sharing the essence of each one of the principles. There are 7 principles that we're going to be talking about, which are the core major principles of the universe where we live. And so first we'll talk about the essence of each one of them. What is the real essence of each one of them? Then we'll talk about understandings, how to understand this principle, how to make sense of it, how to see if that matches with our own life experience and how we perceive life. Then we'll talk a little bit about the importance of each one of them, like why does it matter to know about this principle? And then we'll talk about practical uses of these principles. That will be at the end. So first I'll go through each of the 7 by discussing their essence, understanding, and importance. And then we'll go into the practical uses one by one at the after that. And then we'll go into an activation. So just a meditation, a meditative activation where we will apply these principles to our inner world and see what happens. So I'll name the 7 principles right now, one by one. Okay. Principle 1 is that all is one. The principle of oneness in Hermeticism, Hermetic philosophy, which is the philosophy that I was talking about, coming from old Egypt, that gave birth to all of these world's religion as masters were coming to study in Egypt. It's called mentalism, the principle of mentalism. But for our purposes, let's call it, or let's refer to it, that all is one, or the principle of oneness. The second principle is the principle of correspondence, or as above, so below. So correspondence, right? As above, so below, mirror, symmetry, harmony. We'll talk about that very soon. So principle 2 is as above, so below. Principle 3 is that everything vibrates, nothing rests, everything is in motion, everything vibrates in the entire universe. Principle number 4 is that all is dual. Dual? Everything has a dual nature. So there's duality to everything in the universe. Principle number 5 is that all has a rhythm. There's a rhythm to everything. Okay. Principle number 5, all has a rhythm. There is a rhythm. Principle number 6 is cause and effect, that every cause has an effect and every effect has a cause. Okay. And principle number 7 is that everything in existence has a feminine and masculine aspect to it. Okay. And this goes deep. That's one of my favorites, actually. So we'll get quite practical on this one, and the activation will have to do with this one as well. Okay, so these are the 7 principles, and now we'll go into each one of them in more detail. Are you ready? I take that as a yes. I'm just joking. So principle number one, again, is all is one. So let's go deeper. This is I guess, yeah, for a reason, it's the principle number one. And actually one, all is one. Yeah, that's beautiful. By the way, I want to tell you guys that I was just taking a walk and having like a little food to eat. And I just went out and I started walking. And then all of a sudden I see this building that says the name of the restaurant or something, and it says Hermes. Can you believe that? Wow, it was mind blowing. Just like minutes ago. Amazing. Anyways, so back to our principle one. All is one. So what does that mean? Well, and again, especially with this one, with all of them, but especially with this one, set your mind aside really if you can. Stay open, take it in. Don't think about these things. Just listen about it and trust that it will unfold and it will take its place. However, so don't put your guards up. Don't overthink it. Be open, but also don't believe blindly. I mean, that's quite a balance to do out there. But I do want to make these disclaimers and these pointers, these tips on how to receive this. Okay, so nothing is outside of the all. Nothing is outside of the all. The all contains everything within it. There is nothing outside of it. The all has everything in it. So, which means no gaps, no fragments. There is no hole. There is no gap. It's just one. The universe is one. One. No gaps, no fragments. And the different schools of thought, religions, philosophies, mystery schooling, esoteric teachings, books, everything. They give it many, many different names. So I already mentioned the Force, right? So in Star Wars, they call it the Force. May the Force be with you. The universe is maybe the most common term, and by the way, universe just means one, right? Universe. It just means one. Then people also call it the infinite creator, right? People call it the unified field. We're going to talk about that in the new physics session. The unified field, the ultimate reality, the absolute, the ultimate truth, the infinite one, the infinite field of energy, the vibrational field, the ground of all being, the great spirit. The Greeks called it the logos, the supreme vibration. And there are many, 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 many other names. If we go into different particular religions, then they all have their own name. And I'm on purpose not using the word that we're not going to use here, consisting of three letters, because it leads minds astray. There's too much connotations, too much baggage to it. It's like meditation. What is meditation? Everybody says meditation. Can they define it? Everybody says purpose. Can they define it? So here as well, we're not going to use that word. That you know what I'm talking about. So we are after the essence. We're after the actual reality of things. And so another way to call it that Hermeticists and Hermes himself suggests, as much as we can tell through the centuries, is the infinite living mind. And every word matters here. The infinite living mind, infinite living mind, or the all. And that's how we're going to refer to it. That's how Hermeticists suggest as a way to refer to it, and I like it too. The all. So the essence of the all is, and this is the paradoxical. The mind won't get this. But just take it in, and you may or may not already be in touch with this truth that the essence of the all is unknowable, and indescribable and ungraspable. There's no way. It's impossible. It's impossible to know, to describe, to grasp the actual essence of it, the very, very essence of it. And they all exist outside of space and time. Space and time is within. But outside, there is no space and time. And so what that means is that the all is infinite. There's no border. And the mind also doesn't really grasp infinity or eternity very well or at all. Infinity is absolutely no borders whatsoever towards infinity and within and without. And eternity is not having past or present, just is, right? And so that's what people also say in spirituality, in all kinds of, and essentially we're talking about things that all the major religions and schools of thoughts agree on, right? That's what we could agree on. That's what we're looking for. So in a way, this is a synthesis and an integration of the different religions and approaches to divinity, to sacredness, to reality, to the ultimate reality, to what is this around us? What do we inhabit? Where are we? So it just is. And this is another interesting code that all is in the all, meaning that whatever you look at, it is within the all. There is nothing that is outside of the all. Everything, all is in the all. And then the other way around as well. The all is in all, meaning that whatever we look at, like this particular human being, is within the all. And this particular being, known as earthworm, is also in the all, and the all is in the earthworm. Okay. Yeah, that one was the most challenging for the mind. The rest is less challenging for the mind and in line with modern science. So this one isn't in line with modern science. Modern science struggles with it, battles even with it. So there is a reconciliation that is going on the planet right now. But the other ones, no struggle with science whatsoever. So the principle number 2 is that so as above, so below. What does that mean? Is that there is symmetry in the all. Everywhere there is symmetry. Everything we look at, there is symmetry to it. And symmetry is really harmony. So there is symmetry and there is harmony to everything. Okay. And so it is yeah, as well, like integrated understanding from many different schools of thought. Integral theory posits this exact same thing. Hermeticism posits this exact same thing. Christian mysticism, Advaita Vedanta, whatever you look at deeper schools of thoughts and philosophies, they all concur that this is what's going on, that the all, which is one, goes through something people call involution, which is the opposite of evolution. So if evolution is more and more order, then involution is more and more chaos, really. And so they all goes down to the densest gross forms of matter, dust, essentially, through the process of star creation, and then stars start to throw matter and energy into around them, and then it cools down through billions of years, and it becomes dust, essentially, planets and asteroids, and then that dust starts the process of evolution back to the all, where it all started. So that's the process of and that's the deepest example of correspondence. So as above, so below. That the all evolves and involves, or rather involves and then evolves. So, and those two processes mirror one another. A symmetry, a divine symmetry, divine harmony. And so then from that dust, countless millions, billions, trillions units of life rise towards the all, spirit word, they say, rise to the all through evolution. physical, mental, spiritual evolution. Stay with me, please. If this is a little like over the head, it's meant to be this way. This is not for the mind. This is for deeper layers of us. And the mind, again, can understand as much, and it's great if it does. But don't brute force it. Don't force it to understand. It's fine. And this will make more and more and more sense as we go through this training, and also as you go out into your life. These things accommodate in your system. As I was preparing for this, a little like a tangent. As I was preparing for this information, and I reread this book. I got woken up at night, and this information was just buzzing in me. It was incredible. It was just buzzing, and I was like feeling this knowledge within me. It was incredible. And so just allow this. Stay with me, please, and we'll get places together. So even though there is no division really in life, in the all, in the universe, like strictly to physical plane, mental plane, spiritual plane, but this is a helpful kind of like framework model to understand a little bit how evolution happens, right? And so undifferentiated matter, which is another way to say dust, starts to gain some properties that we then call it life. And specifically, it's about moving, being able to move, and it's about being able to be autonomous, so become a unit, right? And then those units develop properties of thinking, self-awareness, and then that's where we are, humans, broadly speaking. And then there is another dimension that gets added to it, vibration, higher and higher vibrations. We'll speak about that. Everything makes sense. We're building up on things, so stay with me, please. So again, there is a mirror-like reflection in everything that exists. Another way to say symmetry or harmony. And one practical, more practical case of of the mirror principle, of the reflection of the symmetry and harmony of the universe, is something that all esoteric teachings call minor arcana and major arcana. And what that means is something very, very practical, actually. And this distinction is a very potent, beautiful one, and so simple. And as the moment, if you don't know these terms, the moment I say it, it will just become so simple. So minor arcana is the inner space, is our inner experience of life. And the major arcana is the world outside, okay? Very simple. Minor arcana is the inner space, the inner world, the inner experience, the life we live. And then major arcana is everything that we see around, the universe at large. Okay, so the inner, the outer, that distinction. And this principle of correspondence tells us that there is a relationship, there is a mirror-like relationship between the two, that there is a symmetry and harmony between our inner experience in the world and the outer expression, that our reality that we see outside of us. In fact, so much so that they literally are one. They mirror one another. It's like we're looking at a mirror of our inner experience creates the reality. You've probably heard this many times, but this is the explanation of that principles through as above, so below. And it applies to everything, okay? So we're just naming the most important one, which is, you know, our everyday, every moment life experience, where we can see that mirror-like effect with some gap, with some feedback loop. But really it applies to everything. So there is a macrocosm that mirrors microcosm in everything. And so you can think about the universe at large, and then or you can think about, you know, the smallest particle, the quarks, the quantum particles, and then building up layer by layer to like bigger quantum particles, and forming you know, the nucleus, and forming the atom, and forming the molecule, and forming the living cell, and forming the living organelle, and forming the living organism, and forming you know, a plant, an animal, a human, a community of humans, humanity, environment, planet, solar system or star system, galaxy, cluster of galaxies, boom, universe. And so this whole spectrum, it gets reflected all throughout, and we'll get there in just a second. Okay, so that was enough I wanted to say about the second principle of correspondence, as above, so below. So just to drive this home, there is a symmetry and a harmony to everything. And then there is a mirror-like reflection between things. As above, so below. Remember it is as above, so below. There is a reflection, a mirror to things. Okay, principle number 3 is that everything vibrates. Nothing rests. Nothing is static. Everything is in a dynamic motion, a vibratory motion. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that literally there is nothing that does not vibrate. There is nothing that is not in motion. And that applies to the all itself. And that applies to every little single pixel of reality that is the smallest we can ever, that exists. And there's probably infinite number of these layers on the scale. And so everything vibrates. So if you think about heat, then those are vibrations of molecules. Then if you think about atoms, then they all go in circular vibrations, right? So the electrons go around, not really around, but there is a vibration to it. And so at every layer, every little piece, every big piece, anything, everything vibrates. Astronomically, everything vibrates. The planets go around the sun goes around the center of the galaxy, galaxies go around the center of galactic clusters, and so it goes down and up infinitely. Applies to everything. And that's, by the way, the power of these principles, of these universal first principles, is exactly that. They apply to everything. There is nothing that escapes that. The physical objects, the mental concepts, the human created things and objects and economies and everything. Okay. So, and then when we speak about the all, the universe itself, it also vibrates. It also, there is a pulse. There is a pulse to the universe. I have this image, this one. So as, actually, sorry, no, I won't go into that image because that will take us astray. That's another principle of the masculine and feminine. So the universe itself has this vibration, this pulsation that continuously happens as the universe evolves and creates more and more order. And when we think about then the slowest vibration and then the highest vibration being the all itself, and the slowest vibration being, you know, unanimated matter, like again dust or like asteroids or uninhabited planets, things like that. Essentially, it all comes down to stillness, because well, slow vibration, yeah, the extreme end of it is stillness, obviously, but then the all, think about the wheel. You know, you look at the like car wheel, and it's as it starts spinning, then at some point you stop seeing the spinning. It looks like it's resting. So that happens in the entire universe as well, that the two ends really are the same. They are in stillness. And so all progress is really coming back to the all, evolving upwards towards more and more order, upward, not downward. There is chaos, there is entropy, but the overall trend and tendency of the universe is towards evolution and order. This is important. And so what we're saying essentially here is that there is a certain scale of vibrations, from the grossest matter, the lowest vibrations, to the highest vibration of the all itself, and all kinds of millions and billions and trillions of degrees of that vibration. That's how the universe is. Everything vibrates in it at different degrees of vibration. And so basically we're saying that countless units of life rise spiritward towards the all through evolution. That was like this, a summary of this law of vibration, or principle of vibration. We covered 3, we got 4 more to go, then we get practical with this. Oh, let's take a deep breath. Thank you. Principle number 4. Everything has duality to it. So think about hot and cold. These are seemingly extremes, or large and small, or black and white, or good and evil, or infinite and singular. However, this is called law of polarity, by the way. Another name for this principle is law of polarity. And it basically says that everything has dual, so it has two poles. Everything has two poles. Hot, cold, large, small, black, white, good, evil, infinite, singular, and so on and so on and so on. We can have, thousands of examples of this. However, if we actually pay attention and we notice and we look at the thermometer, for example, there will not be a border between hot and cold. There is no such thing. There is no absolute definition of hot and cold. In fact, this applies to everything in the universe. So when we think black and when we say large and small, same thing. We cannot say where large starts to be large and something starts to be small or ceases to be large. In fact, if we pay close attention to these things, then we understand that they're all degrees of the same one thing. So they're not really two distinct opposites, as it may seem, hot and cold, but they are spectrums or degrees of the same thing. And so in hot and cold, it's just degree of temperature, of heat, which is in turn degree of vibration of the molecules of what something is made of. So same applies to anything we look at. So love and hate. In fact, these are the two opposite poles of the same thing, a degree of love or a degree of hate. So there's just one spectrum of that. If we look at ignorance and knowledge, same thing. We could say that anything just has more or less ignorance or more or less knowledge. Same for light and darkness, just more light or less light, or more darkness, less darkness. It's the same thing. It's a degree of lightness or degree of darkness. It's the same thing, essentially. This applies to music scales as well. So it's just degrees of notes, and then they repeat again, and then they repeat again, like this on the spectrum of music scales. Same applies to colors. There is no really red or blue that is it's degrees of the difference between the different poles of the colors. And this one, for example, is important: good and evil, right? Because there are many schools of thoughts and conditioning in humanity that tell us that there is such a thing as good and evil, whereas in reality these things don't exist in absolutes. It's just always a degree of goodness or degree of badness, evilness. And so this is very important. And these extremes, the poles, they also meet. And this is how they meet, that it's a degree of one thing. So all paradoxes in the universe are reconciled using this principle of polarity, that everything is dual. And I want to skip that one. So this was really the big conclusion of this principle. This is how it permeates through our life, that we start to realize that hot and cold are just labels. They're not the reality of things. And the reality of things is that there is a degree of heat. Let's move on to principle number 5, which is all has a rhythm. There is a rhythm to everything in the universe. And this we see everywhere. We see the ebb and flow of the ocean, of the sea. We see things rise and fall. We see things advance and retreat. And then again, we see the high tide and the low tide. And then again, the high tide, and then again, the low tide, and like that ad infinitum. So we see swinging forth and then swinging back. And this applies to everything we can think of. So there is a life and death, a beginning and end to absolutely everything. So nations rise and fall, days begin and end, years begin and end, moons begin and end, energy, any kind of energy has a beginning and an end, and seasons also begin and end. And here we would think, okay, well, this is the astronomical stuff, like the planets and but not really, because if you look at movements or companies or products or trends or philosophies, same thing applies. There's a rhythm to it. It starts and it ends, and then there's something new starts and ends. So really, this is not just for the sun and the earth. This is for absolutely everything. And so you have BlackBerry phones, then you don't have BlackBerry phones, and that's life. You have Apple phones today, and at some point there won't be Apple phones. There will be some orange phones or something like that. Okay, so in summary, what we're saying is that there is a kind of a cosmic pendulum that goes between the two poles at all times in everything. And we're moving on to principle number 6, which is cause and effect. And again, this principle says that nothing happens just by chance. There is always a cause to any effect, and there is always an effect to any cause. This is also known popularly as karma. Yeah, which is simply a cause and effect relationship. And this is important for us to consider in our lives, that things have a meaning, things happen for a reason, and things have an effect, and there is a cause to every happening, and then there is a happening after each cause. And this shows also the interconnectedness, the very intricate interconnectedness of the entire universe. And for example, if we think about how we got here, you specifically listening to me and me, how did we get here? And then when we start looking into that, we just uncover this extremely intricately intertwined web of life. So even the traumas that we had in this life, they didn't just show up out of nowhere. They came about because the previous generations did things a certain way, and so that caused us to create certain life experiences and then interchange that with other people. And so we're all in this web of life, interacting infinitely intricately with one another without just any chance to be seen. Or when we look into the genes that we have, we look into the ancestry that we have, we quickly go back from humans to apes, then from apes to some proto mammal, then from proto mammal to some back into fish, and then from fish all the way into dust. Billions of years of evolution, and we're here through this super intricate micro macro series of cause and effect relationships. And so this was the principle number 6, and now we're going into the last one, principle 7, that all has a feminine and a masculine aspect. Literally, whatever we look at, there is a feminine and a masculine aspect to it. This is called the principle of gender. The principle of gender. Yes, and that's really the wisdom of it, that there is this aspect. And this is the famous Ouroboros symbol, which essentially depicts that principle, that there is a cycle where the masculine then begets the feminine, which begets the masculine, which begets the feminine. And so that works in terms of a cycle. So we're kind of like bringing together the principle of gender and the principle of rhythm. So there is a rhythm where masculine and feminine substitute go after one another. And there is also this kind of like fractal nature of the masculine and feminine energies, where anything has its masculine and feminine aspect, but then in that feminine aspect, there is also a feminine and a masculine aspect. So there's a masculine aspect to the feminine aspect, and there is a feminine aspect to the masculine aspect. So it's kind of like fractals like this. It's very, very beautiful principle of how the universe works. And let's look at some examples so that it gets lights up in our minds. And let's take it to the highest level, the all itself. And the universe exists in this vacuum of nothingness, pregnant with infinite potential. So the universe, the creation, the mind is the masculine, and the vacuum, the nothingness, that is pregnant, the womb of creative potential is the feminine, the existence. People also call it universe and existence. And then we go further, and then we also see that there is, and we kind of go like top down. So then there is order and chaos also. Order, the masculine, chaos, the feminine interacting together. The positive and the negative, the two poles of the magnet. Then there is evolution and involution. We spoke about that. Creation and destruction. So there is always these two opposites that together create everything that is. And now let's take it to consciousness. So we are conscious right now, and so when we look at consciousness through this prism, we also see two aspects of consciousness. And the two aspects of consciousness that are feminine and masculine are presence and love, or in other words, awareness and sensitivity, or here and now. So this is a big key and a big code that is extremely helpful in our growth and development. And we spoke about this in the first level, in the first module, that there is awareness and sensitivity. And so as we perceive more information, these abilities grow, and that those are the meta skills and meta abilities because they apply to every passing moment of our life. We're always aware to some extent, and we're always sensing to some extent. So this is a powerful code. And I want to give a few codes. This is an innocent looking slide, and I'll read through each one of these things. And this is essentially a very important understanding also of how this masculine feminine principle plays out in very important aspects of life. And so, and you've probably heard these before, but my goal here is to like really drive this point home, to really see how potent and profound this principle, the application of this principle can be to understand deeper layers of reality. And so one distinction, and this is just a series of distinctions in terms of masculine and feminine aspect. So one is heart and mind. Heart and mind. Heart being the feminine, mind being the masculine, and connecting them, bridging them together, having them work in unison, a way to grow and develop and awaken. Same thing with the left brain and right brain, right? The creative brain and the analytical brain. So the brain that goes in the more masculine straight points, kind of structuring things, analyzing, and then the more creative brain that goes in flow, in creative process, in the flow that has no structure. And together, the structure empowers the flow, and the flow improves and enlivens the structure. Okay, then there is doing and being, this huge dilemma in the spiritual circles. Like, okay, well, if I'm just being, then like, how am I going to get things done? And then if I'm only doing, then there's no rest, there is no relaxation, and it's just too much masculine go getting things done, and then coming, and then burnouts, and then greed, and then too much focus on profit, destruction of nature, etc., etc. So again, the point is to balance this out, right? To be doing out of the being, because we're always being, even when we're doing. That's a whole, it could be a whole training, just these two. Okay, and then I've spoken already about structure and process, right? So we want to bridge them, because if there is just creative flow and process without any structure, things just don't, the creativity wants some structure, right? Like you put people in the room and you tell them, oh, just apply your creativity to do anything. And people will be like, and they wouldn't go past that, right? Like, what do I, you know? And then when you tell them, well, you got squares and circles, and they're all red, build something out of that. So you apply some structure, some even rules, we could say, and then boom, creativity just starts to flow. So the point is the balance of the two. Structure, in order for process to animate that structure, and obviously not over structuring, and also not having zero structure. That's the balance in everything that we do, really. Then there is, well, it's the same, direction and flow. We just spoke about that. Then there is action and resting, another take on doing and being, action and resting. Then there is decisiveness and surrender. So, right, there's another kind of like dilemma. So, like, am I going to actually like decide and, you know, have agency and autonomy and act and get things done? Or am I going to surrender and allow life to assist and bring opportunities and arrange pieces and bring the right people and so on? And guess what? Neither, or both at the same time, right? Balancing them out. And then this huge process that is happening in the world, bridging East and West. That's another way to look at it. East and West, spirituality and science, spiritual and material, right? Very dangerous when we start to put one above another or negate the other, right? So negating the material and just staying with the spiritual, dangerous. Well, what do I mean by dangerous? Not optimal, not optimal, to say the least. And then the other way around as well. Material with no spiritual, that's why the world is, burning. And we're cutting out the Amazon forest and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we covered all the 7 principles. Congratulations. Now we're going into the practical aspects of it, yeah, as much as it's possible to put them in practice, because really knowing these principles they already, start to open up by themselves and infuse how we see the world and what we do through these principles. However, there are some use cases that I've come up with that I want to share with you in terms of how I personally use these principles. So the use case number 1 is spiritual development. One way to look at spiritual development that is, in my view, very, very, very deep and follows directly from principle number 1 is to see the spiritual development as the recognition, realization, and expression of the all within. Let me put it in simple words. Let me first read it again, and then I'll put it in simple words. Spiritual development as recognition, realization, and expression of the all within. So in other words, it's recognition, expression, and realization of spirit in one, in you, acting through you, and acting as you. To me, that's maybe the shortcut to spiritual development. And it's easier said than done. Okay. So practical use case number 2, inner alchemy. This is a beautiful one. This one draws on the principle of polarity, the principle of vibration, and the principle of rhythm. So let's get into it. basically, the underlying use case is to convert undesirable inner states into worthy inner states. Undesirable inner states to worthy inner states. That's what alchemy really is, inner alchemy. And so if you think about it, we also operate on this spectrum and the pendulum, the cosmic pendulum swings. So sometimes we're agitated, then we're calm. Then we're agitated, then we're calm. Sometimes we're scattered, then we're focused. Or more scattered, less scattered. Less focused, more focused. More loving, less loving. More fearful, more courageous. More hesitating, more decisive. More apathetic, more excited. Less excited, more excited. More apathetic, less apathetic. And so that's the law of the universe. So this happens, and there is no way to stop this principle from happening. But there is a way to neutralize it. And that's going to be use case number 3. For now, the neutralization is number 3. Here we're talking about inner alchemy. So what we're saying here is that there is a way to polarize it to a particular pole. So that is more worthy and less undesirable. So in this case, for example, let's take fear and courage. Okay, let's take the fear and courage spectrum. So the way to polarize ourselves to a desirable pole, which in my view, for me, is courage, not fear, then the inner alchemy would consist of bringing the energy, the vibration of courage into our system, just breathing that in. Or remembering a moment in time when we acted courageously and then surfing the wave of that energy and that vibration. So this is a subtle technique. And a lot of times we already do it unconsciously. However, there is an invitation to do this more consciously. So if I close my eyes right now, so let's close our eyes right now and feel into that spectrum between fear and courage, the degrees of courage or the degrees of fearfulness. And just as you breathe in through the nose, breathe in courage. Don't overthink it, just breathe in courage. And notice the slight shifts in your inner state. So this is really it. It's not rocket science. This is possible. This is available to all of us. We can breathe in calm. We can breathe in focus. We can breathe in love. We can breathe in courage. We can breathe in decisiveness. We can breathe in excitement and many, many other things. And not only we can do it within our system, but as we do it for ourselves, it affects who is around us. So when somebody is fearful or agitated, by doing the inner alchemy, we are also assisting others by infusing the space around us with those other desirable, worthy vibrations. Okay, use case number 3, what I mentioned before, which is a continuation of what we just did, which is the law of neutralization. So the idea here is that we use the cosmic pendulum, not get used by it, okay? And the reason why it's possible is that the will is superior to this principle. We can will things. And so here our focus is on a specific aspect of what swings back and forth, which is our mental and spiritual inner states and activities. They're also subject to rhythms. And so that means emotions, moods, feelings, and inner states. And again, a couple of these spectrums or degrees is we swing between depression and enthusiasm, different degrees of that, different degrees of enthusiasm, or lack, or different degrees of depression. It's probably better to frame it positively. So different degrees of enthusiasm, and then there is different degrees of courage, right? And so what we by doing exactly what we did just before, we polarize ourselves to the desired worthy pole, so enthusiasm or courage, and then the swings get neutralized. It's kind of like we rise above, and so the swings pass underneath energetically. And as we go about this practice, we over time attain poise and mental firmness to choose not to be affected by these swings. Okay, and here, the key is consciousness, is to doing this consciously, because if we do this, if we bring consciousness into those swings and we polarize ourselves to the desirable worthy pole, then we choose to not be affected by the swings, and we hold that poised and firm, mentally firm position of choosing not to be, for our deeper essence, not to be affected by these swings, to stay in our center as the swings, the cosmic pendulum works its way. Then use case number 4, actually, it's not 3, it's the 4, and it's about balancing masculine and feminine. So there are 2 particular techniques that I want to share in terms of balancing masculine and feminine. And let's start with this one. So I'll explain this graph. So basically, there are two degrees, again, spectrums of masculine and feminine influences on us that are very, very deep. This comes from integral theory, from evolutionary dynamics. It's a very powerful framework, and so one of these dichotomies is horizontal, and another one is vertical here, right? So let's look at the horizontal first. On the masculine side, there is agency, or autonomy is a very similar concept. Agency and autonomy basically is our drive and ability to be well in our own skin, to be well and successful, accomplished, prosperous, at peace in our masculine capacity of acting, of agency, of being autonomous, of being a unit, not requiring, so yes, of being just one unit, being on our own. And there is a feminine drive of being in communion. So not being on our own, quite the opposite, being with others, communing with others, exchanging with others, relating with others. And so it's important to understand here that this is not either or. We have both drives, and both are healthy. However, there can be misbalances there, okay? So what we want to do is that we want to balance them out how we like it. Some people prefer more agency than other people. Some people prefer more communion than other people. So we want to stay where we're comfortable, what's balanced for us. And we want to also develop that capacity of ourselves, but staying in that balanced perspective, okay? And then I'll talk about the vertical axis. And before I do, so basically what you're seeing on the screen is kind of like a profound masculine and feminine alignment tool. Because as we keep that in mind, and you can also print this out and have somewhere where you see it from time to time, so that as you go about your life, you make little micro adjustments. Am I misbalanced a little bit? Am I lacking communion, or am I lacking agency? Am I having too much communion, so I'm craving agency? Or am I too much agency and I'm craving some communion? Okay, so this is how to use the tool. And now the vertical axis. So there's another dimension of feminine and masculine that also plays out in our life. These are like the four major drives of the masculine and feminine. Well, two of the masculine and two of the feminine. So as you can guess, eros, or transcending, is the masculine. This is the direct straight line, transcendence, right? Directionality, objective, goal, moving towards a goal from A to B, direct line. And that begets structure. Boom, 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 right? Transcendence, to level up. And then there is the inclusion, which is to integrate, to embrace what's already here, to improve the relationship with what is within me, the different parts of my life, for example, balancing, my quality of life across different components. It's that. And so again, here's same thing. We need to balance those out. We cannot just be leveling up and leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, but not integrating what we're living through, because that leads to misbalances. Okay, for example, in spiritual and material. And then inclusion, same thing. Like if we how some people they just are, they're content with what they have. They release that desire to transcend, to go somewhere, to level up. And then that can that in its extreme form, it's thanatos. It's the self-destruction. Self-integration, then in its extreme point becomes self-destruction, thanatos. So what we want is both. We want to transcend, and we want to include at the same time in a balanced way. So this was this alignment, feminine masculine alignment piece. And then another tool is something that I do all the time that I like a lot, is music, movement, and dance. Basically, there is feminine and masculine aspects in music, in songs, in movement, how we move, and in dance, how we dance. So let's speak about the music for a second. What would be the masculine in music? Well, the masculine in music is the more like structural piece. So to put it simply, it's the beat. Not only, but I'm simplifying to make it clear, right? So the beat that goes boom, 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 right? Structured. So every same intervals, boom, 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 boom. It's structured. And then the feminine is something like the flute, something like the violin, something like vibrations that change their frequency. It's the flowy part, or or the voice. Human voice is more flowy than masculine, than structured. And so when you listen to music, pay attention. Is a particular song much more masculine, or is a particular song much more feminine, or is there a balance to them? How much of the masculine and feminine is there in a particular song, right? And you just feel into it, and that allows you many things. That opens up many things. First of all, it opens up like a deeper appreciation of music. It opens up better improvement of the both the taste in music and choosing the music that really resonates with one, that really that you really like, because you will like a particular balance of feminine and masculine in music and in everything, because we all have that in ourselves, right? So so that's the music piece. Then movement. We all like move uniquely, right? Nobody else walks like I walk or like you walk. We have a unique way to walk, unique way to, bring a cup to our mouth. And some movements are, the masculine would be more like how do you say, like brute force or something, like more, and the feminine would be more like flowy and gentle, and like maybe slower. And so as we move, that is playing out with us at all times. It's just that we either aware of it or not. And so if we, and this is not to become self-conscious or anything like that in a negative way, to like watch ourselves all the time do things in certain ways. Not at all. This would be an extreme, and this would not be helpful. But bringing awareness into our own balance of feminine and masculine, maybe some imbalances, because essentially we're all balancing the masculine and feminine in ourselves. And so bringing attention, bringing awareness into how we move, what kind of music we listen to, what kind of music we like, and also how we dance. Dance is I treat a lot of times I treat dance as a practice of balancing masculine and feminine. Like and this is a tricky one because one can get a little self-conscious there. So it's also an exercise in, you know, letting go and surrendering and letting the body move the way it wants to move. But it's also a great playground to explore feminine and masculine energies in one. Okay, so these were the two tools that I wanted to share with you in terms of balancing masculine and feminine. And then this is not really a practical use. This is more like how to put the 7 principles in one infographic. And I realized that the logo that I've been using in most of my projects is essentially inspired by the 7 principles, by these 7 principles. And if you pay attention to this particular picture, then you see that it all emanates from one point. So all is one. Then you also see that there is a pulse, a rhythm to it, right? So the circles are encircled, n squared. Is that a word? N squared by a square, which is encircled by a circle, and here it goes ad infinitum, right? So you see that it's a scale from singularity to infinity. Then you also see that square and circle represent the masculine and the feminine. Then you also see that, what else is there? Anyways, these are some of the principles reflected in this picture. I don't want to spend more time on this, but maybe that's also something interesting to, if you feel called to print it out, put it somewhere, and have this be a reminder of these universal first principles, if you wish so. And let's go into a meditation activation now, where we apply these principles to our breath. Because guess what? Breath is within the all. So all these principles apply to our breath too. How? Well, the polarity principle, there is an in-breath and out-breath. Right? So there is a point when there is no air and all of the air. And so that's how we go between the two poles. Then there is a rhythm. Breath is symmetric. In its natural way, it's symmetric. We spoke about this, that it's actually 5.5 seconds long. And then there is a correspondence there as well. So there is a microcosm of the air that is within our lungs. So we literally bring the macrocosm, the outside, into the inside, literally. We take the air in through our nose or mouth into our inner cavity of the lungs, and so we exchange continuously the air with the between the inner and the outer, continuously. Isn't it cool to realize that? And then all is one. So as we breathe, our breath is intricately connected to our heart, to our blood flow, and to our heart pumping, and to the deeper parts of our heart, because it is believed that, well, if everything is energy, which it is, and vibration, then air and has energy in it. And so we literally pump energy into our system. And so we at the energetic level, that happens at the center of the heart. So all is one, where we plug into that one, and we'll speak about that in the new physics. It will get, and in the sacred anatomy, it will get much clearer if this is something you're keen on to understand and Not sure how this exactly plugs into the universal forces and energies. Then there is a cause and effect, because breath, as I said, affects everything in our body. It's a very central function of our body. Then there is a principle of gender. So as we breathe in, it's quite different than when we breathe out. Breathing out is very conducive to releasing, to relaxing. It's not the other way around. It's not, no, it just doesn't work. So when we breathe in, we literally invite alertness, we invite life energy, we invite firmness, we invite decisiveness. And then we relax. And this is how we go about our life from our birth to death. We invite life energy, and then we release and relax, whether we're aware of it or not. And if we are aware of it and we do it consciously, that potentializes this process manifold. And obviously, breath is a vibration. There is a continuous vibration. Even the in-breath, out-breath is a vibration. So there is a lot of vibration happening. Okay, so with this context, let's go into, no, not yet. We'll go into a short meditation, maybe for 10, 15 minutes, maybe 10. We'll see. And let me play some music for us, and then we'll close. Okay. Beautiful. I just want someone to let me know in the chat if you can hear the music and if the volume is right. Low, okay. Well, music on. How about this? Yes, okay. Wonderful. Okay, so loud and clear. Beautiful, thank you so much. So I invite you to sit firm and straight in your chair. Make sure that your back is straight, that you're comfortable as well, that your feet is firm on the ground, your hands are on your laps, perhaps, and gently close down your eyes. Just arrive, move your gaze inwards, and start taking deep breaths in and out through your nose. Let's take a very deep breath in, please. Just relax your mind. There is no need to now be mulling over this material. It's already in your system. So keep breathing through your nose. And as you breathe out, relax your physical body. Allow the breath to do what it does. And as you breathe in, just allow sparkles of golden light to shine within you, to come down from the heavens and bathe you and shower you in a generous, sparkly, golden light. And so with each in-breath, you invite that light into your system. You open up, you allow yourself to receive it. And with each out-breath, you consciously allow your system to relax, your body to relax, your muscles to relax. Relax your facial muscles. Put the gentle smile on your face. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. If it's some tingling sensations, just observe. Keep breathing in that golden light. And keep melting into the earth. Staying both firm and supported. And as you breathe, bring your awareness into the center of your heart. Just keep breathing the way you are. And keep your awareness at the center of your heart. Allow your breath to flow completely naturally. And notice the tiny gaps at the end of your in-breath and out-breath. Relax your belly as you breathe into it. now relax your face and relax the area around your eyes. Relax your eyes all the way into the center of your brain. Breathing, and notice how with every conscious breath your inner space grows. As you breathe out, relax even further. There's no limits to your relaxation. And there is no limit to your expansion. Feel your root chakra, feel your safety. That it's safe to relax. And after you relax, it's safe to relax even further. Expand as you breathe in and relax as you breathe out. Just completely relax your belly. No one is looking. Completely relax your face. No one is looking. What's your natural facial expression? How does your belly like to be? Deep breaths in and smooth breaths out. No gimmicks required, just natural, conscious breath. And as you breathe in, feel your physical body, feel your skin. And feel how you can feel beyond your skin. And as you breathe out, feel how the firmness of your body does not preclude relaxation of your body. Balancing it all out in the center of your heart. The eye of the hurricane, the refuge, our home. The safe space. And as you keep breathing, bring your attention to your feet. Bring your attention to your ankles. Bring your attention to your calves. Bring your attention to your knees. Bring your attention to your hips. All of your legs. Bring your attention to your pelvis, your sexual organs, the area around your anus. Bring your attention upwards into the lower belly and lower back. And as if you're being filled up with that golden light, liquidy, sparkling golden light, keep raising your awareness more up as you breathe in naturally, reaching your solar plexus and your middle back. Following your spine upwards to your chest, the center of your chest, your upper back, shoulder blades, your shoulders, flowing into the arms, into the forearms, elbows, into our hands, into all of our fingers, all the way to the tips of the fingers, and bursting outwards from the tips of the fingers, and bringing your attention to your neck, filling up your whole neck with golden light and filling those vocal cords. Starting to fill up your head, relaxing your face into levels of relaxation you didn't know existed. Your jaws, the area areas around your ears. Relax that. And then your eyes again. The area in between your eyes. All the little tiny micro muscles that go all the way into the brain. Just relax that. And rising up to the top of your head. And opening up to our connection to this universe, to the all. Flowing like a fountain up and around us. This beautiful extends bubble of golden light. Feeling the firm magnetic pull from the center of the earth through gravity and through electromagnetism. And let's give thanks to life, to the universe, to all of us, for this rejuvenation, for this meditation activation, for this sacred knowledge passed on generations through generations, rooting all the way into the previous civilizational cycles on our planet. Countless masters, teachers, initiates passing this on through generations. And to ourselves for showing up, for living in integrity, for integrating, for transcending, for our agency and autonomy, and for the beautiful communion. And for the beautiful gift of the breath. And now, let's start to gently come back into the room where you are seated. So whenever you're ready, very gently move your fingers or your toes, or make slight movements of your spine, maybe some circular movements, whatever you feel called to do. Maybe these circular movements with your spine can spiral into a balanced spot, the most straight position of your spine. Just find that center, energetically vertical, fully alive, relaxed. And let's gently open our eyes whenever you're ready. Come back to this space. Thank you so much, everybody, for this beautiful experience, meditation. Oh. Congratulations. We just finished this training, this first training. This is the end of training 1 and a little celebration. Yeah, I do wanna do a little commercial plug that if you think anyone can benefit from the level 1, please send them my way or the link. And if anybody else you think would benefit from joining this level 2 container, they will just have to watch this one and join us. So please do that. And there's also many ways to take this work deeper, to work with me one-on-one in the Zone of Genius, sparking your further exponential growth. I have this vision board crazy thing that I call Life Compass that I just created, a new product. Then there's obviously business consulting. I work with cannabis, actually. I don't think I've mentioned that before. I do sacred containers and group ceremonies with cannabis. And I also do work with people one-on-one with cannabis, which is a way to potentialize any type of work that we do and take it to profound levels. I also share microdosing protocols with cannabis, how you can create your own containers for morning practice, for sacred work container to really advance in your projects, and other types of containers, celebration containers, New Earth Leadership, Path of Mastery. We even create altars with Karime, and now starting to teach that because our altars are pretty cool, actually. Yeah. So that's that. And I want us to listen to a song, actually, to a celebrator. No, I don't. The meditation was the song. So thank you so much. Congratulations. We finished it. The floor is open for questions and answers and feedback. Did we take 2 hours? We almost took 2 hours. Okay. Sorry for that. I wanted to keep it to 90 minutes. So whoever can want to stay and for some Q&A and shares, please, the floor is open. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this a lot. Hope you did as well.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to give a little quick history about my life to this point, really quick. I'm 50 this year. And for a lot of trauma when I was really young, and that trauma made me numb to my body, right? But what I did do throughout my numbness was produce 5 beautiful children. But in honesty, numbness. And so my body has become, it needs healing. My body needs healing. And I'm finally awakened to that journey of healing my body. And so while we were doing the breath work, I was inclined to moving everything. And I noticed that everywhere I turned and looked, there was a huge invisible fragrant flower. I'm having so much fun with my imagination and what's possible for me and how all cells can heal. And I'm so thankful to be on this journey at this time with you in this stage of my own personal journey. Magnificent teaching. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chatikwa. It means a lot. We're all in this together. One boat.
I just want to give thanks. I had such a great time. As always, you do not disappoint. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you for everyone in this container. Um, that meditation was delicious. I was so jealous. I was like, no one come in this room. I have I haven't reached that point too collectively, so it is delicious. So thank you guys. This couldn't have been possible. Like we say, we co-create this together. Yes, I am looking forward to working with you in whatever cannabis experience this is. I love cannabis in the sense of experimenting with meditation. I did one today. It was amazing, but this one took the cake, and I was like, wow, if everyone did a little bit of microdose before they do work, the world would change because it just settles my mind and it settles my heart. And so yeah, I am thankful. This is so amazing. Like always, I gotta let it settle in my heart. But thank you for everyone in this container. I was very selfishly impressed.
I also just want to say thank you so much. This was powerful because it allowed us to just be in the state of integrating everything that you gave. It didn't feel like just knowledge or information. It felt like you allowed the space for it to now settle into our bodies. And I was just having so many insights in meditation, and I wish I was writing it down in a way because now I'm like, damn, I gotta go back to this meditation to get it. But I had a question, but it escaped me. It was around a principle. And then it kind of said, like, it's pretty much the one that's connected to all is one. But I could see how many formats of, like, I was getting so much insight for a course that I want to create from just sitting with this. It was just like showing me clear images, clear perspectives. It was so, so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Yes, beautiful. And there's me creating this, but also there's so much guidance, and the meditation is just purely whatever the group needs, right? So yeah, it's beautiful. And maybe you can journal. You can journal after this call right away. And it's like with dreams journaling, you know, like we think we wake up and they're like, oh, I mostly forgot it. And then we're like, but I'm gonna put the 2, 3 things that I do remember. And then you're like, you put 2 things and oh, actually, I also remember this, and I also remember this, and I also remember this. So journaling unleashes that semi-forgotten things in the process, usually, for me at least.
Good class, as usual. You spoke on everything has vibration. Does death have vibration?
Great question. I don't know. But the principle applies to absolutely everything. So the answer is probably yes. But it's one of those questions, like why does the old do what it does? And it's known that Hermes would just stay silent to that question. Yeah, and I'm not Hermes, but I don't know. It's a great question. I suppose yes.
From what I've been reading on, it has a vibration, but it's at this lowest point where it cannot be heard, but it's still vibrating through the universe, but it just can't be heard. Thanks for the insight. Appreciate that.
I want to say thank you, Sasha, for integrating and synthesizing and simplifying these very deep, broad, universal principles. I've read the Kybalion 3 times, and I've never received such direct understandings, is the word I feel. Inner standings. I was receiving a lot of insight. I felt there was a great spirit connection during this training. I felt it was more like a sacred gathering of initiates. I think you say training, but it feels more like we're gathering around a temple of light as initiates, receiving really potent remembrance. Because it's not your knowledge, it's not anyone's knowledge. There's just one place of knowledge, and we all contain it. So thank you for the remembrance. And I want to thank as well, as you did in meditation, I really deeply honor the teachers, the masters, the carriers of this wisdom, and the wisdom keepers in shamanism, in hermetism, in all the mystics, right? All the mystics that have guarded and carried all the wisdom. Wow. I mean, it is known in hermetism that there weren't any written books. it was just word by word, like teacher to initiate, and that's how it was carried along. And I feel like us doing this is exactly that. Like we're replicating what mystics have done throughout the entire history of our species. So I feel very, well, not even our species, Atlantis, everything before us, right? So I just want to honor all those keepers and teachers and masters as well, because wow, it is because of that that we're here gathered in a similar way now through Zoom instead of in a physical temple. It's the same, right? It's just adjusted to our era and time, but it's the same practice. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing, Kari. Beautiful words. Yeah, and definitely there are levels and levels and levels of understanding of this knowledge, and this is not the final one for me, nor for you, nor for anyone. So it's beautiful. It's yeah. Thank you for noticing. A lot of integration and synthesis work went into this as well, mentally and spiritually and all kinds of ways. Yeah, for sure. The Zoom temple. I love it.
When you was talking about the principles, it was like showing me a new perspective on the awareness of more of a spectrum concept, not just the opposite or other, like opposites, not complete mirror, like it's a spectrum up and down. It was like so awakening, like just living it and seeing how it works. Like I really appreciate that part. That part I really, so impressive. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Hermano, I just want to say thank you so much once again for the reminders. It's like always you bring the reminders in such a brilliant, magnific way of like, I think we all have at some point of our life, like have a meeting with this information, but the way you make us remind is so beautiful. And what I really appreciate is the possibility of reminding with the body itself, like bringing them from here to here. And the meditation was all about that, about feeling all of that in here. And I really appreciate that possibility of gathering in collective to feel together, and also so excited about what are the possibilities of like bringing this to our entrepreneurship path, because this is something that is like it's really intense for me. Like I feel these truths a lot in myself, but I still sometimes don't know how to bring them to the entrepreneurship. So I'm really interested about how that can be applied, that, and not to feel there are like two different paths, but it can be just one, as it is. As you said, it is just one. It's just how we can integrate it in that. So thank you so much. Gracias for allowing me to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely there was a lot of yeah, now that you say it, yeah, in the meditation we definitely did bring it down into the body, all those frequencies and vibrations of knowledge, of this sacred knowledge. Yeah, for sure. In terms of the entrepreneurship, I really recommend you rewatch the training number 4 from level 1. It's exactly to that point. I think if you haven't, then I think it's gonna like answer many of the questions that you have.
I will check it. Gracias.
And we'll also speak about more entrepreneurial type of things in the next training, I think, where we speak about the emergence on Earth as this new level of consciousness begets changes, evolution of education, evolution of culture, evolution of governance, evolution of economy, evolution of entrepreneurship, evolution of relationship with the environment, evolution of regeneration, etc., etc., etc.
And I'm sure that as you take us on, Sasha, I'm sure there's going to be integration of these principles, because when we look about creating products, we can only create what we, from where we're within, right? The mirroring principle. And so it's only from where you're at within that you can create without. So there's like in everything, I think we can be weaving, and you can intentionally be weaving these 7 principles across the training, because there's nothing out of it, as the first principle suggests. Like everything is within it. So every product, service, business we create has to be within that reality and the nature of reality. So yeah.
Yeah, that definitely. And these principles go real deep. So they're everything that we touch and look and understand and create is infused with those to some extent anyways, because that's just the reality of things. And in fact, if you think back to the level 1, everything was infused with them anyways. I would often say, this is the masculine aspect, this is the feminine aspect of whatever. I would say it all the time. If you rewatch it, you'll probably be able to see like how they're infused, how everything that I talked about is infused with these. We just needed to get in my kind of like understanding of these containers, we needed to get through some more fundamentals before we go into these principles, but they're at play in everything.
I just wanted to say, I noticed like what you guys are speaking about, it's kind of like one law births the other law, and then it births the other one. And it's like almost like the snake spiral again, like the Ouroboros. And I feel like one principle, once you understand it, gives birth to the other principle and the other principle into this infinite loop of energy. Pretty cool.
Yeah, resonates. Yeah, thank you.
So would you say the main objective is to find the balance between the two, to create the harmony between the masculine and feminine?
Well, in terms of one's own trajectory?
Yes.
Yes, create the balance. So here, okay. So a lot of people, when they hear balance between masculine and feminine, they think, oh, okay, I got to come to 50-50, like I got to have half and half or something. But or I got to come to like whatever is like normal, like 80-20 or 70-30 or 40-60. But in reality, everybody is unique. So everybody's got their own kind of percentage that we can feel into as we go about our life and keep feeling into, and those micro adjustments, like how did I, like in my and it doesn't have to be the dance only necessarily. It can only be it's everything that we do. So as we create our projects, or we reach out to people, right, and we write the message, hey, I want you to check out like my new product or whatever. Then and I'm not talking about you reaching out to me. I'm talking about like overall, in the message, we want to also combine the feminine and the masculine. We want to say, we want to be like straight to the point, direct, make it clear, next steps, action items, but we also want to, infuse it with some compassion, love, like not be pushy. So it's at play in everything. And so in our own life, it's about, as we go about life, in my view, about making those micro adjustments, become more conscious about how did I just do that? How did I express? Was there enough structure, or was there too much structure? Was there enough flowiness and process and allowance for emergence, or was there too much of that? And not only overall, but also for me. What's more natural for me? So some men have more feminine energy than masculine energy, and some other men have very little feminine energy, and everything is okay. That's neurodiversity. Not only neuro, just diversity. So everybody's got their own thing, and the further they are from their own balance, the more kind of friction and less flowy things are, because we try to put a square peg into a round hole, literally. right?
May I just quickly add a perspective here? Anwar, I feel that I work a lot with healing, and I feel that whenever we go out of our balance of feminine and masculine, we tend to be ill. Our bodies tend to go out of harmony and express that, manifest that through illness and disease and discomfort and pain and dysregulation and all these things. Okay, so I believe that how to strike the balance for each one of us, because also the programming can be very strong for men to be excessively masculine. And so, or today, even women to be excessively masculine. We have built a world that is pretty masculine centric. Masculine energy, not only men, but masculine energy centric, right? Do, go, right? Our world operates a lot in this way with a lot of direction, penetration energy, right? And so I believe that we have to be very aware of really finding the natural balance within each of us, overcoming the programming, right? Overcoming the idea of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman in this current world. And the best way to find that, to fine tune that, is understanding if your body is in harmony. You know, when I get very clear, when I get out of harmony and go overly to my masculine, I start burning out and being really sick and being nervous and anxious. And I understand I've overdone it in my masculine. And when I retrieve too much into my feminine, I start becoming very lethargic. I'm kind of missing that force, that direction, and so my body starts becoming like really lazy and lethargic. So for me, the best lab is my body, you know, is my body in balance? And that way I can, so I think in a tangible way, that's a really straightforward way to sense whether you're in your balance of feminine and masculine, generally speaking. So anyway, I just wanted to add that perspective because, I mean, this is a great intelligent tool that tells us continuously, right? It's always talking to us. So it's just more of us listening to it, and it will know where the balance is actually right for us.
Indeed. Thank you for that. Gratitude.
Hey, Alex. Um, thank you. Thank you for this container again. This last meditation allowed me to embody the Kybalion itself. I had previously read about it. I knew about the concepts and the principles, but definitely the way you put it this way, it's like all the gears kind of meshed together and flowed. It was very, very it's like you were explaining it to a 6-year-old kid, and that's the master of it. One more aspect about this was that the Kybalion, I feel that it contains a lot of wisdom, and it's a universal key for pretty much everything, for being inside and outside. So thank you again for this class, and I'm just so excited to keep trucking along.
Yeah, thank you for being here and the receiving, and yeah, definitely Kybalion is the major piece of this, not the only one though. And also the Kybalion opens up, right? Every time we read it, it's like there's a new layer of depth, and also integral theory informed my understandings a lot, and then Law of One is a big influence as well, and many other things come into this. But yeah, it's like the backbone is the Kybalion, and yeah, I truly believe in understanding with the mind as well as something very important for experiencing the truths, actually, because a lot of us get lost in the spiritual entertainment, in the spiritual intelligence and spiritual knowledge, and that's not the point. The point is to combine the spiritual intelligence or knowledge with the spiritual experience. because otherwise, we don't want to be one of those heady people that just keep it at the conceptual level, and it doesn't change the life and doesn't change the habits. That's not the point. That's not the point. Like, imagine we would just stuff ourselves up with spiritual knowledge in these containers without applying it to our life, without making it practical, without bringing the experience. That just wouldn't be a good thing, or would be misbalanced. It would need to be balanced, and so it would create some repercussions, and so we don't want that. And I feel that the solution to that is not just spiritual knowledge in terms of just a bunch of facts, but to have it be understood. Because I'm just now like riffing on it, that when things are like truly understood, then they go down into the body. Then they're not anymore just a set of unrelated conceptual frameworks or facts. They become a lived reality because they're understood. They do change our behavior, and that's what I'm aiming at, and that's why I put so much emphasis and focus in my life and in sharing things onto things being so chewed on and so understandable that it's kind of like I see it as like a helmet, an energetic helmet of knowledge that I just kind of like share, and people put it on. Yeah, exactly. Wisdom is that's what it is. Embodied understanding is wisdom, and so the helmet is like boom, put on, and it's like it activates and it installs, sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at, and that's my way of sharing.
Sounds like a patent.
So thank you for seeing that.
Helmet, patent idea.
Patent, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Sasha. I also wanted to share the same feelings like others shared. So I also feel a lot of gratitude to you personally and to these generations of ancient masters that kept this knowledge transferred through generation to generation for us. And it's such a big help, right? Because if we don't have this knowledge, we have to come up to this knowledge. Probably one life is not enough. So it's such a better way to start our journey with this, foundation. And I still feel that my logical mind doesn't fully understand it yet, and it's not fully integrated. And I feel that each principle you shared today is such deep and probably deserves a separate session. For example, this gender, feminine, masculine principle. Probably we can spend the whole, 2 hours just to find the ways how to apply it as leaders, as partners in our families and everywhere. So it's so deep, and other principles as well. With our work, with our products, we want to influence other people's vibrations, which means that we need to master not only our vibrations and rhythms and everything, but learn how to impact others, which is twice harder probably, right? Than not only change yourself. So I'm open to it, want to integrate, and thank you very much to you and for everyone, guys, to show up. It's such a good group, and I feel we share something in common because not everyone will join here and spend 2 hours listening for such abstract but very existential things. Many people say, guys, what are you doing on Saturday, right? So I feel a lot of proud for all of us here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Love you so much. Yeah, definitely. Well, guess what? It's degrees of understanding. Spectrum of understanding. Yeah, for sure. We're such a cool bunch. The perfect way of spending Saturday. Well, thank you for spending Saturday here with all of us, and we'll connect next Saturday, same time. Yeah, next one is special, as special as this one, I think. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing you. Please recommend it to other people. More people need to know this. They don't need, well, if they want to, then they can do it here. Much love to everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming to the second level. Let's do it. Bye now.